Hello, this is Kellie P-B, and I am sitting and I am waiting at my husband's workplace, and I'm really tired right now. I just laid back and took a little bit of a nap because I'm sitting here waiting because he had a late delivery, and we're waiting to go to my grandbaby's birthday party, and we're running late. And I didn't think we were going to be that late, so I'm kind of feeling kind of bad about it, but I'm going to just give a little vlog out because I'd been to a conference, and I kind of made a gesture one time in one of my videos because I'm making a backdrop for an area that I'm going to be sitting at and doing many of my videos at. So, in turn, hey, you can actually see too, I've actually colored my hair, but I haven't done the salmon color yet. So, I'm thinking about doing a gradiated, but I'm not sure. Or I just may like do a frosting in it. That's got the salmon color. But now we've been really busy trying to get everything around for the baby's first birthday party, and then we went from there to having a convention that we went to, which was the Keystone Bigfoot Society, which they're also with Goosebumps Paranormal Society, working with them, and I got a fuzzy on there. So, yeah, my husband and I, we enjoy going to places like that. Of course, my daughter, if you can look really close at my pinky, I have a partial footprint on my fingernail, and it was put up on Facebook. And then our stories, they did a live feed with my husband and I, which I was surprised my husband said yes, because he's not a Facebook person, but he did. And so we spoke in front of over 150 people and told our stories, which we've been kind of quiet about because we want to protect them. And you might think we're kind of crazy out there because every day there's something always new that biologists, geologists find out there, that or archaeologists also, that have been found that we didn't even know existed, and botanists, certain new plants that have never been found, that's been found. So we've always kept an open mind when it came to things like this, and because I've had some encounters which were not bad by any means, very calm, very vocal, with my daughter one year, because her being of a womanly age, and me not having that because of having a hysterectomy, she in turn was like drawn by one of them. And I want to say more of a rogue male, which my daughter was driving my pickup truck and almost hit. My husband was able to actually get pictures in the, right after the accident, well, the morning after, very early in the morning, he went up, and he actually seen that there was a berry patch across the road, and we think that it was in the berry patch because he got prints up in there and how the berries were messed around with and spread out, and but he seen that there was footprints, so he got that stuff up there. And then he got the skid marks where my daughter slammed on the brakes when one came across in front of her this way. And then he got a print, and he laid the knife down as if the print was this way. He laid the knife down on this side of it. And it's a good 6-inch knife. And there was still this much room on the side of it. But it was about 15 to 16 inches in length. And you can actually see the toe prints and everything to it. And it was right where my daughter had, slid on our dirt road, slamming on the brakes. And there's a path that goes up in. And of course that's where it was messing around with berries over in here. And then went across. So she must have startled it coming down the road. And was scared. Because that was her first experience seeing it. Second one was when down our road on a blacktop, off of our road I should say, on a blacktop, there's power lines. And I had seen a red one, kind of the color of my hair, but really matty hair. It was short, it was about 6.5, 7 foot. Digging in an old log, looked like he was digging up grubs. I actually thought it was a cinnamon bear at first. Then it stood upright. And when it did, it went to walk away. And I'm like, whoa, okay. But it was really quick. And that was my first experience. But here, last Sunday, I had another experience. But going back to the other one, my daughter and I were together. And we were coming back from town. And as we were, where I'd seen the red one at, just prior to that, there's a swampy area. And there's a 4-rail trail now, which used to be an old railroad grade. And it's grown in, and there were saplings, short saplings there. Not short, but definitely taller than me, and I'm 5'1". And so it was definitely taller than me. I mean, I could stick my hand up and probably come to the top of it. Well, we walked in 20, 30 feet because we had this very pungent smell that we smelled. And I pulled over really quick, stopped, and put my 4-ways on. And we jumped out, we ran, and I looked to my right, and I couldn't see anything up the trail. But it wasn't really strong that way, it was strong. When I turned around and looked back at my truck, that would have been my right then at that point. But when we first turned, I looked to my right, and then to the left is the other lane. In the left lane, but then turning around, like I said, looking at my truck, the back end of it, we walked down that lane. And as we walked down 20, 30 feet, and I had my daughter stop. I said, stop. I said, I see something over there on the right-hand side. And she's like, where? And I pointed out, and I said, no, it's leaning down. I said, it's squatted down. And he's like, okay. She's like, okay. And she kept looking, and then she's like, because this was dusk. And then she's like, oh, okay. And then it had its arm down, and it would lean over, and then come back. And then lean over, and come back. And it kept doing it for about 2 minutes. And I asked it suddenly, I said, well, what are you going to do? And it stood up, and when it stood up taller than the saplings, about 4 feet over it. So it was between 8 to 9 foot high. And it stood there and it looked at us. And I said, and my daughter says, oh, let's go down. And I said, no, we're not. I said, we're going back to the truck now. And she was leading, and I kept looking behind, and he was still standing there, or it was standing there. I believe it was probably a male because it was very, very big. In black. And you couldn't see any facial features, other than when it was ducked down, there was a little bit of shape, pointed head. When it stood up, it had the pointed head. And I knew that the arm was down there, so there was some defining little things that we could see there, but as soon as it stood up, and it had really broad shoulders, I mean, way out here, and it had no neck, a cone-shaped head, and its arms wore down by its side, and it was just standing there. And it, like I said, it took up the whole four-wheeler trail, and it stood taller than the trees, the saplings that were there, bushes, which are kind of like elderberry, you know, little saplings, stuff that would grow alongside of swamps, the smaller sapling type stuff. And people would cut this because the four-wheel trail, it was cut down some. Well, I took pictures this year, and of course it's quite a bit taller, so it would be closer to the height of what the trees are now. But still being over by maybe a head length or whatever. And we got back to the vehicle, and just before I got back to the vehicle, I had actually turned, because I was keeping an eye on it because I didn't know what it was going to do. It then suddenly just turned and went to its right, and we ran and got in the vehicle, went down the road just a few truck lengths, maybe 6 or 7 truck lengths, and then there's the power lines. And we seen it walk through the power line area. And it only took about 6 steps from one side of the huge power lines where they have the, you know, the 2 poles, all the extra, you know, lumber and all the lines running through there. It took 6 steps to get through there. And then it disappeared into the wooded area, and we didn't see it after that. We were hoping it would come out into Claire's yard, where next to Claire's yard we had seen this red one that was short. And we've heard a lot of sounds, and we've done some walking sounds, and they've talked back and across the road and behind us. So they kind of talk back and forth there, and then us, because I sat there and did a call, and yeah, there's going to be skeptics out there and everybody's going to laugh. But as I said, you never know when something new is going to actually be found. And I wanted to just say that it was a very interesting 2 days. Got to spend Friday evening with my husband, which was awesome, even though we got a flat tire. But very informative, very open-minded people. I mean, just being open-minded in that sense is a unique trait in itself, because so many people are closed-minded in this day and age. So, saying that, I just want to say thank you for listening and hanging out with me while I'm sitting here bored and very tired because of last night and then the flat tire. That I just wanted to say thank you for hanging out, and that I love you guys. Peace out, everybody. Keep it rockin'. Keep loving the Lord. My heart really goes out to everybody to really pray for our country, our soldiers, and our president that's going to be elected, that the world will understand that prayer is needed in this country. So, saying that, again, I'm going to say peace out, and I love you guys, and God bless you, and you have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.